Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Sullivan family. Isn't that right, Ben and Zoe? We are back on it because I think that you deserve to get a little bit of online hate, as we're going to discuss today, because Zoe is secretly forming a gang to fight back against us. I think that's what her plan is anyway. So before we get into this, please take a moment to appreciate today's sponsor, that is myself. For the month of October only, we have the Halloween merch line over at the merch store. The cutest raccoon ghost on the internet. If you want yours today in a line of hoodies, t-shirts, notepads, all sorts of things, go over to the merch store today. Link in the description box below. Without further ado, let's get back onto the video. Thank you. So as you probably know, Zoe set up a Patreon account quite a while ago. I already covered it, I've already infiltrated it, I've already talked about it, and things like that. It caused a bit of a stir at the time. So we're back in. We are back in. That's right. We are back on it, and we're going to talk about it today. There's a couple of things to talk about. But today, this particular video, we're going to talk about a specific post which they've recently put up. Or Zoe's put up, it's Zoe's thing, right? But there is another video coming very, very soon regarding another very, very important topic. A certain podcast which they've put out, right? But today's video is specifically about this post that Zoe put up, and it's all about anxiety and online hate. Now, I'm not talking about the anxiety part of it. I'm not interested in that. But the online hate bit, I felt personally attacked, so I'm going to respond to it. And as it's behind a fucking paywall, I feel like I've been stripped and beaten and yeah, all these things, right? I think it's very it's uncool, right? It's very uncool. So instead of putting out their feelings towards online hate and people in particular who are giving them hate, they're now putting it in a group full of like-minded people to kind of, stir up a little bit of hatred themselves. It's the same sort of thing. Anyway, let's have a look at exactly what Zoe had to say. As you all know, we deal with a lot of negativity and hate online on a daily basis. And as much as we try to ignore it, when you are also dealing with lots of other life stuff, it can become very difficult and overwhelming. I don't like writing about the negative stuff all the time, so sometimes I just don't post anything at all, as I just don't know what to write. Now, the problem here is, Zoe, you are talking to about 50 odd people who love you enough to pay £6 a month towards being with you. You know that they are like your super fans, the ones who will do anything for you, and you are discussing online hate and negativity towards them specifically. And it feels wrong, to be honest with you. It feels wrong. It feels wrong because it is wrong, right? Let's be honest. You won't put it out there now to the general populace because you don't want people knowing that you're talking about the negative and the hate and everything like that. But you are talking about it secretly, basically. She goes on to say, we started social media to share our lives, the positivity that we have, and the beautiful family we have created. But at times it feels like it gets hijacked by trolls and toxicity. Yeah, there's reasons for that. I mean, some people have different agendas why they give you hate, and I can't really discuss the specific reasons, the individual reasons why other people do it. but a lot of people do it because they do not like what you do. They don't like what you share of your kids. They don't like that side of things, and you still have yet to discuss that and address that situation. But you know, you know why, right? Don't you? Surely. Dealing with online hate is always a difficult thing. The weight of other people's judgment, both on and offline, is heavy on my mind at times, even when I know it shouldn't be. When you put your logical head on, you have to remember that really it's nothing to do with you. These people have their own anger and frustration that they need to take out on someone. So what she's saying here is that the reason why everybody talks about them in a negative way is because we all have our own issues, right? And we're angry at something, so we have to take it out on somebody else. That's what she's saying. It's not true, but that's what she's saying. They need to feel a part of something, so they join these hate campaigns as it makes them feel in control of something. Indeed. They probably don't even know that much about the people they hate on. They just need to hold on to something. Well, I know enough about you. Unfortunately, we know too much about you, Zoe. Equally, they probably wouldn't be so bold in real life. Well, if I met you in the streets, yes, I would absolutely say, "Oi, Zoe, you, child exploiter," right? I would call you a child exploiter in real life to your face, right? I'm not actually saying anything wrong. I'm not being hateful. I'm not being nasty. I'm not being untruthful. I'm just telling you the truth and just trying to, yeah. We get hated on because, right, this is the best bit, right? We get hated on because we are classed as a family channel. But the fact is that there are millions of family bloggers and vloggers out there, millions of Facebook, Instagram and TikTok accounts that people include their children and families on, which is, of course, their choice. Now, she's addressing here the family vlogger situation. People don't like family vloggers, right? And for good reason. But, yes, Zoe, people also hate on those people, right? People do not like those people. Just because they exist doesn't mean to say that they are right for being what they are, right? You feel like everybody's targeting you and not these other people, and people should be targeting other families as well if they don't like family vloggers. But yeah, no, people don't like those families either. And trust me, each individual family vlogger out there will have their own hate people trying to campaign against them. And then she goes on to say, and this is where I feel personally attacked, and I think it's wrong, you know. The truth is, we all know where the hate is mainly fueled from in our case, and he only chooses a few accounts as he needs to fuel hate to make a living, and he considers the channels he chooses as easy targets. Well, okay, so it's obvious there, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but it's obvious there that she's talking about me. She obviously doesn't have to mention my name, but everybody who's reading that knows who she's talking about, and it feels kind of wrong that she's hiding this behind a paywall to talk about me to her little super fans, right? Well, I guess I do the same thing. Do I do the same thing? Yeah, kind of I do. I guess I do. But it's like she won't talk about it. She won't mention me. She won't mention anything, but she'll put it behind a paywall so nobody knows that she is doing this, right? But yeah, I feel attacked. I feel personally attacked, right? Honestly. She goes on to say, when you put it into perspective, what we are dealing with is online bullying on a giant scale. Now, is it? Kind of is, but at the end of the day, Zoe, you are doing what you're doing, and people are going to have an opinion on it, right? They're going to have an opinion. So you need to deal with that because you are a celebrity, right? And celebrities get opinions on them. That's just the way. It's been like that for centuries, all right? Maybe not centuries, but you know what I mean. What we have to remember, and this goes for anyone dealing with bullying in this way, is that these people, unfortunately, will always be there. Not the same ones, of course. They will move on and find someone else to spit their vitriol at, but there will always be the same sort of people. The ones that need to hate something or someone because of deep-seated damage in their own lives. That's the problem, right? She's making it out as if we all have something wrong with our lives to be hating on them, right? That's not true, right? I'm not hating on them because like I've got deep rooted issues of my own. I would still support child exploitation if my life was the best life that I could ever imagine, right? In fact, if you don't have a problem with child exploitation, then you are actually the one with the issues. So, anyway, you have to remember that it's never about you. It's all about them dealing with their own trauma. Which trauma is this, Zoe? You know, I don't have any like childhood traumas that have led me to want to bring you down as a family vlogger, right? Maybe things that have happened to me have led me to want to stop family vlogging. Like maybe that's what you're talking about. I don't know. You don't have to take that on. I know it doesn't make it easier to deal with, but you have to know that you don't have to find justification as to the whys and wherefores. You don't have to answer their criticisms, and you don't have to change who you are to please them or anyone, in fact. We must stop looking for approval from others. That bit gets me every time. We must stop looking for approval from others. What's happening with all the likes and the the thanking everybody who comments on you, and all the likes that you get for your kids on your channel and everything like that? That's you looking for approval. That's why you do what you do. That's the whole point of doing what you do. It's because you want approval from others. Otherwise you wouldn't do it, right? I was the person who hated to think that someone didn't like me and would go out of my way to please everyone. And do you know what? The only persons who ever get hurt is you. Nothing and no one is perfect, so you don't need to be either. We are all just imperfectly perfect, and that is the most beautiful way to be. And don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. Believe in yourself, even when others don't. Much love, Zoe. Now, I do believe in myself, even when others don't, and that's why I carry on what I'm doing, right? Even amid all the hatred that you've given me in this particular post, because it is hate, it is online hate, right? You dress it up in any way that you want, right? But it is you hating on me, hating on other people, hating on everybody that talks about you, right? But you'll just say that, oh no, nobody can see it because it's behind a paywall, so So yeah, that has been Zoe and her Patreon page. That's her latest post, by the way. It's quite the page turner. She did talk a lot about anxieties and stuff like that, and I have every sympathy for her for suffering with anxiety. You know, it's very unfortunate that she does, because I'm sure the online hate probably has a bigger impact on her than it does other creators. I'm sure it does. But, you know, the problem is that she chooses to vlog her kids for a living, and she's never, ever, ever going to get any respite from people because she does that. It's not going to get better. It's not going to end. So she's either got to learn to deal with it or stop vlogging her kids for a living, you know. But there you go. That is that. I'm sorry this has been a bit like, it's probably been a bit nasally, to be honest with you, isn't it? I've got a bit of a cold, so you know it's not great. I've tried to power through, right? So take it as it is. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a massive thumbs up, comment all of your thoughts about it down below, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, because we are heading up and up and up and away towards 12k, and it's a delight, isn't it? Anyway, I'll be back here with more of these videos. I've got another one coming up courtesy of Zoe's Patreon soon, and yeah, subscribe for that, turn on the notification bells and all that jazziness, and until next time, take care of yourselves and bye bye.